Welcome everybody to the March 9th meeting of the Andrews Community Forest Committee. We've got a quorum, we've got no public in attendance. Can I get volunteers for a timekeeper and a minutes taker?
I'll do minutes.
Okay, minutes.
Timekeeper.
Excellent. Great. Thank you both. Moving on, approval of the February 23rd minutes. Did folks get a chance to take a look at those? Pretty straightforward.
I thought they were good minutes. They have the one of the documents out. Yeah, so if we have a motion, does it need to include the document at the end?
Yeah, so the reason for that was, Brad, you did the minutes, and then you emailed me when you finished your minutes and asked if I would append the document, because so much of the meeting was spent just working on the ecology section.
Yeah.
That was the product of the changes that we made during the meeting. So the packet shows the original version of the eco section before we met, and then if you look at the minutes, you see what's appended is the changed version. So we kind of have like the diff of before and after for the meeting. So especially it being a shorter document, it seems like a good idea to just append it to the minutes. So that's why it's there.
And I move to approve those minutes.
Okay, great. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, great. Any comments or suggestions to make changes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Dan, are you abstaining or?
Sorry, in favor.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure I had it on the record.
Yep.
Cool. So unanimously approved. Moving on. Does anyone have any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay, well, then we'll hop right into management plan updates. So my hope is for the bulk of the meeting to be spent on working on the appendix, but what has come up a few times, over the past few months, and I believe it came up again last meeting, or maybe Brad and I were just talking about it outside of the full meeting time, was the fact that we've referenced the potential to have a separate rules document where it would basically be aimed at rules for visitors of the forest, not necessarily rules for the committee. It would just be for if you're spending time in the forest, here are the rules. And so I guess I wanted to spend a couple minutes on that, just so we could talk through if we want to do that, especially as we're rapidly closing in on the end of our management plan revisions. We need to make reference to that if we're going to manage it in a separate place. And then the further question is whether or not that's sort of consistent with the spirit of the management plan itself. I think most of us had liked the idea of having a separate management doc because it allowed for a little bit more flexibility in being able to update rules as they come up, rather than needing to update the management plan, which is only required to be updated once every 10 years. And any updates to the management plan require both select board and BLT approval. So that becomes rather cumbersome if we want to start changing a rule here or a rule there. So I like the idea of having a separate rules doc. However, I will note that is going to be something that I think the select board is going to have to weigh in on, and whether or not it's even allowed, because it is sort of like, empowering this committee, or there are a few different paths. One is whether or not it's possible to have a rules doc that's separate from the management plan. The second one is if that is allowed, whether or not we're the ones, dictating what's in that rule sheet, or if the select board is, or if it's the same relationship where we're advisory and we build that rules doc, and if we want to change it, then it goes to the select board and they approve it. So we kind of have three paths. Like one is everything's in the management plan. There's no separate doc. Sort of the middle path is we have a separate plan that's consistent with the management plan. And it's just sort of, it's just plucking out the things that are actionable for visitors. And that's pretty close to the first one. I guess there's kind of four options. The third would be there's a separate rules doc that's different than what's in the management plan, and the select board has to, make any adjustments or approvals to that. And then the fourth option would be we have a separate doc that the select board has sort of empowered this committee to make changes to. Yeah.
There is kind of a precedent for this.
Okay.
Some time ago, we wanted to change the bylaws of the committee. I don't remember what the issues were, but there were changes proposed. Maybe Bradley, you on the committee?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so if my memory is wrong, you can fill in. But what I remember is that we edited the document. We made a different document. It did go to the select board, and then somehow Josh Anderson sort of incorporated it into the existing management plan. So if you go to the website, I think what you click on actually says management plan, including modified.
Right.
That's when it's modified.
Yeah.
Bylaws for the committee.
Yeah.
So that's, maybe that's the precedent. The bear in mind it's not identical to what is just, but
Yeah.
it seems to provide a mechanism for doing what you're in favor of here, which is separating it out.
I bet they're going to want to know what kind of rules you want to identify in this document.
Yeah, my understanding is that my read on the pulse of this for the select board is that a separate rules document is not problematic as long as it aligns with the management plan.
Yeah.
In other words, not more restrictive or less restrictive. So by that, it would essentially just mean that we're just summarizing all of the rules from all the various sections, be it ecology or recreation or throughout, all the places where we're making rules for users. We would basically just put them in a document for convenience, so people have a nice little one sheet that they can look at.
Unlocked at the kiosk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because most people don't want to dig through 40, 60, 80 pages to try to figure out, well, what are the rules that apply to me? People are not going to look, they're just going to assume that anything that's fair game.
I don't think the select board went through the rules that are posted up there now.
Probably not, but we are going to them we're going to go before them soon for approval of this updated management plan. So I think they are going to look at the whole thing with a good amount of scrutiny, especially considering the fact that it has been a pretty hot topic in town over the last few years, and we've spent our time trying to really hone this into something that we think is best for the entire community. So because of that, I would be surprised if they if it was just a perfunctory oh yeah, this looks generally good, we're going to pass it. I think they're going to look at things pretty carefully.
So we do have a panel posted at the kiosk, which, among other things, lists maybe sort of everyone is like with an eye camp and things like that. So is that what you're envisioning, or something more extensive that would kind of explain the rules as well as stating them?
Basically that. I mean, nothing too crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember when it first came up, but I think that we had talked about it. So what I'm thinking about especially is like seasonal closures, specific trails, especially if we have a trail that's close to like hemlock or wetland closures, like those are coming up soon. Basically, I think we said like March through April is when like we would close trails that are abutting or close enough to wetlands that they would be in the buffer zone. So those are the types of things I was thinking we would need to have on that rules doc, which most of the year it's not that pertinent to folks, but we would definitely want to call that out. And maybe we're overcomplicating it. Maybe we just need to print out like a warning sign or something that goes up on the kiosk or the entries to the forest just during those seasons, right, where we would just post, we put a sign by any wetland trail during that March to April range and tell people, hey, this is closed. And same deal with the hemlock trails for the winter time.
I don't think it's overcomplicated to identify it as, give it its own motion, identify the stuff we want to put in that document and where we're going to post it. Where I can think of easily two places, one at the kiosk and two online on the committee, on the forest page, maybe even out in front of the building here. And I think that would absolutely increase interest and compliance for some things, because people don't want to wade through a 90-page management.
Yeah. So then what that means is if we make a decision with a management plan and the select board and BLT approve it, and then we realize in a year, oh, we made a really big mistake here, we need to change the way some of these user rules work. Now, basically what would have to happen is we would have to update the management plan, and then we would have to update that separate rules doc. So we had talked about the potential of having the doc separate, which would give a little bit more flexibility, like, we are going to, make some slight change because of just usage patterns or whatever, to be able to kind of like work on the fly. But I guess trail closures, we've talked about those in the context of like trail forks and maybe even Trail Finder and being able to close them online. So I suppose those aren't really that far out of scope. If we put that in the management plan, just say like, we're doing seasonal closures on these types of trails, then the separate doc is consistent with that. But let's say if all of a sudden we're going to disallow or allow like some type of user group, like what happens if suddenly, we're going to allow snowmobile traffic again? Or what if we're going to like disallow dogs anywhere in the forest? I suppose that's a big enough change that it would require us to go back to the management plan anyway. And we couldn't just put that in a separate document.
Well, if we have, see, that was always my argument, is to keep those things out of the plan and confine those to the flexible thing.
Okay.
So we don't have to contradict the plan. Say, well, forget what we said on page 28, dogs are okay or dogs are not. But you want that flexibility. Like say there was a drone hobbyist who started meeting up on the land.
Sure.
And there's 50 drones blowing out of there every day and swooping around and bothering people. We don't have to revise the management plan. Just make a rule and stick it out.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, which approach do we want to take? Do we want to, and whatever we choose is going to have to get approved by the select board regardless. The question is whether or not we think it's a better approach to pull out any language that says no dogs or no bikes above the the power lines or the
just refer to the latest set of rules.
Yes, exactly.
The detailing.
So we can do that. But based on what I ran by a member of the select board, like it sounded like ultimately the full select board is going to have to weigh in on it. But ultimately it seems like the separate user rules document should be basically as restrictive as the management plan. So if we basically remove all the bikes and dogs and drones and anything else from the management plan and put them in a separate user doc, suddenly that user rules document is more restrictive than the management plan. So that's no longer in line with like what my understanding of what the select board is looking for. So we might just run into trouble when trying to get the management plan approved because we've created this separate doc that lives outside of the management plan.
As long as but if we're silent about those things, the rule doc could just focus on what we're quiet. We don't really go into detail plan, so we don't have to contradict it. We try to keep the plan big and broad and live by those things, but maybe there's little tweakings.
So can you give me an example of what we would say in the management plan and what the doc would say?
Say dogs can have impacts. We understand people love dogs. Please refer to our latest rules to see, where dogs are allowed. And that way we don't have, we can do it.
I have a proposal which I could put into a motion with design.
Sure.
We accept in principle the idea of having a separate document listing rules, and we identify a working group of 2 or 3 people who will make a draft of that rule those rules, but also examine approved sections of the revised management plan that we have approved in this committee to ensure that the flexibility that Brad is talking about is present in the management plan draft.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I don't care one way or the other. I feel like we're potentially just making more work for ourselves, especially if we feel like this approach is going to be unpopular with the select board, since ultimately they need to approve it. I like the idea of grabbing all the stuff that we've stated in the management plan and putting it in a separate doc for easy access. I think that's a sort of a no-brainer, is to just have that separate doc so people can look and see everything in one place. I'm not sure about being broad in the management plan to try to like allow ourselves to do more rules making in the separate doc. We can certainly try it.
Yeah.
And if folks are interested in doing that, we can make a few tweaks to the management plan and we can generate that separate document and then see what the select board says and what the other committees say, when it goes out for review.
I think that flexibility is present to a large extent in what we've been approving the last few months relating to ecology and recreation, and probably other sections might not require it. So I think if the that should be a task, is that this working group I'm proposing we go through the approved documents that we're proposing for revised management plan and check that there's an appropriate amount of flexibility. Appropriate is maybe a key word there.
Yeah, so we would basically note things like seasonal closures and dog restrictions and bike restrictions, but we wouldn't exactly say what those are, and we would just say refer to the rules document in those sections of the management plan, and then we would have the rules doc.
Well, or
spell that out.
It could be as simple as just saying in the management plan that the committee has, will publish rules for use on, when and where do stuff in the plan, such as we could say, dog policies, seasonal closures, and just leave it at that. And then we can, that way we can just change those rules, if picnicking, right now I think maybe we say picnicking is okay. That gets to be somehow a problem. I can't envision what.
If we call it the seasonal rules, that makes it
That's-
pretty clear
Those
what
are,
we're trying to do. And
those are really, right.
yeah,
Okay, that's fine. So I suppose if we're going to do that, I do think that it should go to subcommittee or working group rather, with 2 or 3 people to basically determine what are the rules that we're going to put in the separate doc. I think, Brad, as we were putting the full management plan back together piece by piece, there was like a governance section.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably somewhere around there is where we would slip
Right. That's right.
like a link or like mention of the separate document in there. And then there may be a few other places like in the rec section, and maybe even like ecology, where we would make note that there is, for dogs or bikes, please see the rules doc, which would have been mentioned higher up.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. And then ultimately, I guess, we'll see whether or not whether or not that's popular with the select board.
Can you say that what's posted at the kiosk, the blue background, yellow type font, that list of things is a good starting point.
Yeah, that's a
that
good point.
would be helpful. Just use that as a starting point, go through and see what needs changing, what needs adding.
That's a good point too, because there may be some things in there which, like, I don't know right now if the management plan, if we've noted, I know the rules says like no, but it's basically open, dawn to dusk. And I know like hunters are allowed to hunt, like 30 minutes like after sunset and like 30 minutes before sunrise. But aside from that, it's basically closed at night. I don't know if that's actually in the management plan language itself, but I think it is in the separate rules doc. So that would be, I guess, this working group, that would be a good thing to check as well, is to like, check both ways. If it's a rule in the management plan, it should be in the separate doc. And if it's something that we're using from that base document that we already have for rules, we should check and either make recommendations that it should be added to the management plan
Mhm.
or remove it entirely. So, you know, if we don't care about users using the forest at night, then we could remove it from the rules.
The easement is a guiding document also, I mean,
True.
it's more than guiding us, so that sets things hard and fast.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there are things in the easement that can incorporate one more way or another into the rules of the management plan as it stands.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess, do we have any volunteers for a working group to work on the separate rules?
Help on that.
I'm happy to do it if I don't know if we need more than 2 people. I'm happy to do it if nobody else wants to do it. But
You're saying 2 is a good number or 3?
I think 2 is probably fine. I don't know if we need a big working group for that. So I'm happy to be a second if nobody else wants to do it.
I'll be second, and mostly because I think you're doing so much. Right. Let's spread the load a little bit less.
Okay.
We can nominate somebody who's not present.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, because if you guys are just 2, you know, that's well under quorum. I mean, quorum is 5 on this committee, so even 3 is fine. You know, technically 4 is fine, but I know we don't like to get that close. So if the 2 of you work on it, and then I suppose you guys can correspond with me, and we're still under quorum. So yeah, feel free to coordinate with me as necessary, but maybe the 2 of you just meet together and work through it.
When we would wait until we're a little bit farther down the road and have a
Good start. I think we're in.
Yeah.
That should be the first question, I suppose. That those of us in the work group should take a look at the existing material and say, are we ready to dive in? Or,
Yeah.
No.
I don't think the remaining sections we need to touch to get this full revision done are going to say much in terms of rules. You know, like the appendix is not a rules section,
Right.
you know, so that should have no bearing on the user rules. We've already finished eco, we've already finished rec, we've already finished education.
Yeah.
We've there's a little bit of polishing we need to do on a few other things, but I don't think we're going to find a bunch of user rules in any of those other sections. So I think you guys can definitely get started.
And then put something in governance that says this is
Yes,
how it
so
works.
yeah, we are going to have to revisit that, but that is one of the sections that I don't think we checked it off our list, you know.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to, hopefully that's just going to be a quick stamp of approval in a meeting, you know,
Yeah.
2 weeks or 4 weeks from now. We're just going to look at it real quick and be like, yes, this all makes sense.
Right.
There's nothing controversial here. We pass, you know, we're passing it.
Yeah.
So we are going to have to go back through and check off a few of those sections that haven't been looked at in a while.
Yeah.
But they didn't really need much work anyway, so
Okay.
it shouldn't be a problem. We'll just add that 1 line of text that says refer to the separate rules document for, you know, current user rules, whatever we call it.
Do we have a compendium of the latest, greatest sections that we've been working on recently? Ecology,
Well-
recreation.
Well, we had the one that you and I were working on. You know, we met for 4 hours or so at my place. That was the most recent one, and I think
I don't think I have. Came out of that.
I might have the most recent version. I
So
believe I
let's-
passed it back to you as a docx.
You did.
So it should be editable, but I believe I had added in the rec section, which was missing. I haven't since added the eco section, but that would be easy for me to put in as well. So
Because that's basically the minutes.
yes, it is. But the minutes were PDF. So I have a doc version of that. Also, if you looked at the minutes, there were those 2 sections of highlighted text where one needed to be moved to, I think, education, and the other one needed to be moved to recreation.
Yeah.
So what I can do as an action item after this meeting is I can take the eco section, plug it into our working full management plan document, and then move those 2 lines of yellow text into their respective sections.
Yeah.
Maybe leave them as yellow unless they're easy to just plug right in, because anytime I've had to change the language at all, even just because of tense. So there was one where it was either eco to rec or rec to eco. I think it was eco to rec. And I had to change the way that the language read slightly to fit it into how we were writing things in the rec section. So I flagged it so that people could look at it and weren't just going to assume that whatever I did was fine. Although it's going to go through a few more passes. You know, you're going to look at it for grammar. I might, be reformatting some stuff, prior to that, and it's going to go through other committee review. But all that to say, I can take eco, put it into the doc, I doubt we're gonna finish it today, but as soon as we're done with the rec appendix or the eco rec appendix, that can get plugged into the doc. So I can give you the most recent version like tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow, and then you can use that for your working group. So
Do we need a motion to authorize the work group, or are we? We've done it.
Actually,
Executive
I
action.
don't think we do that.
But we
I
know,
don't, yeah.
we know what's.
I don't think we've motioned for that before.
It's supposed to be informal.
It is informal, and yeah, you're basically doing work that you're bringing back to the full committee that then will approve. So I think you're fine. Great. Okay. Well, with that, I think we can move on to our biggest item, which is the combined eco and rec section. Let me just hop on the meeting for Mike.
1 hour and 30 minutes left.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So
Good.
I will.
This is the document dated 2/7. Is that what we're looking at?
Tell you one second.
Well,
Yes, it was the 271. So let me, yeah, so I'm glad we all have computers here because there's no screen. I'm going to share my screen here. Yes. Okay. Hopefully, because people are viewing on their own screens, I won't have to mess around with the Zoom at all. Can I just leave things at the current Zoom level?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that said, I guess I'm going to just make a few changes. So as we go, as I was mentioning just before we started the meeting, we're going to use this initial version, which does have, just for transparency, this was the original version. It does have a bunch of these annoying like font size, bullet, format bullet stuff.
Is that the Word doc?
This is the Word doc before I like accepted the changes.
You can turn those off. All the format you can.
Oh, how do I do that?
Go to. That's annoying. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
Review.
Or
I think it's, yeah.
It's down. Yeah, because I'm using Google Docs.
It's the same thing in ones in Word, ones in PDF.
okay, excellent, thank you.
Tools.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get to something to show. What do you want to show? You know, do you want to see the formatting or just insertions and deletions?
Okay.
But that's on Word, you can do that.
Only formatting. Tools for use suggested edits. Can accept
You
all.
ask it review instead of accept.
Yeah, because
But then that's gonna do, except, the insertions and deletions. All you're trying to kill is the format. Docs may not let you refine it to that extent. And all you're doing, even in Word, is you're switching it off. You can turn it back. There's no, it's not an accepting thing.
I don't know. I think I can just quickly, as we go,
Yeah.
like my plan was to just go through here and just accept the anything that it's not like text changing, so.
Yeah.
Alignment. is going to take slightly longer, but I wanted to be as transparent as possible rather than just like presenting folks with the version that I had already gone through and accepted a bunch of changes on. This just makes it very clear. Okay, so I'm going to be editing. So we're on the 9th. Okay, so I guess one was, so this first one was changing conserving ecological integrity, expanding values or expanding uses and values, and we're changing that. There's a suggestion to change that to recreational uses and enjoyment. So I can like accept these and we can like look at it and decide whether or not we want to change it. I'm just going to keep going until I hit something that's not a spacing. Okay, so this is the proposed title for the appendix now. Conserving ecological, the ACF for people and wildlife, conserving ecological integrity, expanding recreational uses and enjoyment. Do people like that? I'm cool with it. Okay. We got spelling and millennia.
Actually, yeah, the letters of the third bullet that starts the Richmond town plan echoes these points. I assume it still does. I mean, we should.
I've got to checks for that.
Yeah, so any references and I think that might be 2 or 3 or 4. We just write runs aware of this that we need to write, make sure it's
like
I can.
That's consistent with the new version.
Got it. Yeah. That just passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call out. Okay, so yeah, I guess we like bulleted some of this stuff rather than it just being paragraphs before. So
I think,
before it was, so I think that makes it a little easier to read. I'm cool with the bullets. Because it's broken out into separate bullets, this next one is replace it with the easement, which makes sense. Okay, so do we want to look at this? The Richmond town plan echoes these points, calling on all of us to protect priority natural areas, along with supporting recreational activities and ensuring best stewardship of town-owned land, such as the ACF.
that would work as is if we took out the quotes.
Okay.
That's a simple. If we want to quote the town plan, we could say the 2026 Richmond town plan calls for using quote best management practices end quote to quote protect natural communities such as wetland streams, native species, soil health, and ecological processes on town-owned land, end quote, as we also, quote, support opportunities for outdoor recreation. So
I like that better. I think that's more specific, and if it's directly quoting the town plan which just passed, which won't have to be updated for another 8 years, and then this will not have to be updated for another 10 years. I think that's stronger. So you want to just email that to me, I guess? And I'll just paste that in. I think that's the fastest way that we can do this. I don't want to have you say that back a bunch of times while I slowly to try to type it out.
you get it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's looking like it.
Okay, so the new proposed is the 2026, Richmond Town Plan calls for using best management practices to protect natural communities such as wetland streams, native species, soil health, and ecological processes on town and land, as we also support opportunities for outdoor recreation. Yeah, I think that's good. Are folks all right with that? Great. So next up we have, this is new text. So as we get to the like green text here, this is text that I can't remember who wrote what, but Brad and I kind of took like 2 passes on this to try to make it more impartial and to really like bridge the gap between recreation and ecology. So this is entirely new text. It's saying that we're crossing out achieving balance, but that's just below, so you can ignore that. So following up what we have above, where it's mentioning the responsibilities of the town, we have new text. I don't know, I guess because there's a few different new green paragraphs, I could read them out for everyone, but I'm assuming folks have gotten a chance to look at this document too. So if there are no issues with any of this text that's proposed, I can just go ahead and accept them just so we can keep moving more quickly. Is that the
I
preferred?
like the first paragraph. It's well said.
Yeah, this one, this green one.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept it unless anyone has any comments on that one. And then, I guess it did a couple things. So then, what about the beginning of this next achieving balance one?
Comment about that.
Okay.
Right now it says the OCF was conserved with 2 equally important purposes. I would just delete equally because that word implies that you can quantify the 2 things and make them
that's
exactly
a great call.
equal. But
Sure.
so it just becomes conserved with 2 important purposes.
Yeah, I like that.
Key, 2 key purposes.
Yeah, I mean, do we like key better than important?
Well, sure, they are in the conservation easement at the top, the first 2 really. Those are 4 purposes. So key is stronger.
Okay, let's do key. Okay, any other comments on that next section of green text? Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and turn that black and we'll keep moving. Include space, and then I guess we have this now. So before I accept anything, what was that? Let's see. Okay, so we have a lot of this is the same as it was before, but now we have just a few added sentences here, which I think continued to, I don't know, just sort of like bridge that gap. So the first one being this commitment reflected a broader Richmond value that access to and protections for natural areas supports community well-being. It kind of helps underline some of the recreational benefits. And then, yeah, I guess there was just another like section that just kind of strengthens some of what people are using our community spaces for, and like just sort of like the health benefits there. And then the final one in this section being this growing enthusiasm for outdoor recreation creates both opportunities and responsibilities. The ACF can serve as a premier destination. I don't know if we need premier, but I think we should show that as a destination for diverse trail experiences while also demonstrating how thoughtful management can sustain.
Can we go up to the previous black text?
Yes.
That's allowed.
The in step with.
In step with the national enjoyable trends.
Yep.
3 lines down, it gets to 100 miles of trails in or within a few minutes of Richmond. Well, the count actually was, the 100 miles came from a count of Richmond plus neighboring towns that have a border. So, I think it should read, instead of saying within a few minutes, it should say adjacent towns.
Okay, that's better.
The reason being is a few minutes is open to interpretation.
Right, like the next town over to Bolton, would be, it could be 20 minutes to if you want to go up to Birch Loop or something. That's an adjacent town, but I guess it's 20 minutes, a few minutes. To some, yes. To others, no.
Depends if you're riding a bicycle.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Okay, so apps like Trailfinder and Trailforks map more than 100 miles of trails in Richmond and adjacent towns, or surrounding towns. So in Richmond and surrounding towns, and then it'll continue on the same way, single use, multi. Okay, great. Any other comments for that section?
Oh, actually, it looks like I think there are two instances of this. Trail finder is written the second and third lines of that paragraph. It says trail space finder. I think it's trails finder is all one word. Not trail finder.
With F capitalized.
Trail finder is 2 words. Trail forks is 1 word.
But no, trail finder is 1 word.
Well,
trailfinder.info.
Well, on there, but if I pull it up, it's they show it as 2 separate words. So
sorry about that. Stand corrected.
It's confusing because we're using Trailforks, which is 1 word. So I've always had to do the same thing.
Yeah,
like, what one is it?
Trailfinder.info. So it's in the URL.
It'll always remove the space. Yeah.
Okay.
Good call out there.
I'll remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I must have that.
That.
Okay, so any for these few paragraphs, any other?
Oh, actually, another one in the black text. It says the 4th line down. It says single use, multi-use, even for people with physical disabilities.
Oh,
which
I would say and.
Yeah, I'd say and.
Yeah.
It sounds a little patronizing.
It does. Yeah. It definitely does. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is why we're doing it all together, right? It's just like it's easy for one person who's just cruising through trying to get something done to not notice some of these finer points. Yeah, so we've got what's next?
We're still there's 1 more in that, I think.
1 more comment.
Yeah, from Ian. There at the end, the very last clause there, and locally to include mileage managed by Richmond Mountain Trails. It's right. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Ian. Said we ought to get rid of that last part because it implies that the route is determined for that Belmont Trail, which it isn't yet, although it's in the plans to have one. So I think we could fix that just by saying, this is our, if you agree, work is underway on building the Belmont Trail Network as it is now. Then say, plan to run the length of Vermont, including inner near Richmond, and optimize for Belmont. So you get the word plan because it's on their maps and the web page and it shows, coming up through there.
So plan to run the length of Vermont. What was after that?
Plan to run the length of Vermont, including inner near Richmond.
In or near.
Okay. And optimize for mountain biking. That's a praise from them.
Okay. So then we'll get rid. Yeah. Okay. So remove the and locally to include mileage managed by Richmond Mountain Trails. Okay. So,
right.
Okay. Great.
And that separates it from that work is underway. Does read the other way. They're out there.
Yeah, so so the new sentence is work is underway on building the Velomont Trail Network. Plan to run the length of Vermont, including in or near Richmond, and optimize for mountain biking.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have messed up some of the commas, but Sonia can fix that later.
There you go.
Okay, so moving on. This growing enthusiasm. Do we have any comments on that?
One, second line, and serve as a premier destination for diverse trail experiences. I'd say forest experiences instead of trail, because you
Okay.
don't have to be on a trail
Yeah.
to experience.
Yeah, so the ACF can serve as a destination for diverse forest experiences.
Yeah, I'd suggest that.
Okay, well, also demonstrating how thoughtful management can sustain both recreational access and ecological. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so then we have a comment updating the footnote. Let me just accept this and see. I guess it's just a footnote. I'm assuming that was you, Brad.
What's that?
We
Add footnote with text curling there.
Oh, those are analysis. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is it borne out in, or is there a word missing?
Or yeah, we're born out of. This concern is born. Yeah, good point. Born
Sonia,
out of studies.
Oh, yeah. And born out in.
Born out in.
In.
Born out in research. Okay, got it.
Good.
Okay, so then this one. All right, so moving on to, I guess we just have a bunch of small changes here.
you might have jumped one.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry.
Paragraph.
The residents also expressed.
Keep going back to Black One's got through this process today. We know much more.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
Are we
now.
just, well, and then the next sentence is, this plan draws upon a large bank of research. And it happens, I've seen several instances of lowercase plan, and I think it should be, just to be clear, it should be changed to this management plan, maybe capitalized.
Okay.
Not a huge big deal.
Yeah,
but
that makes it
it's
more
sort of,
clear.
ambiguous if it is, isn't it?
It's coming up again. Another. Following.
Okay. Yeah, so this management plan. And going back up to the first sentence, there's a suggestion to add and residents' desires. So through this process today, we know much more about the ACF and residents' desires than we did in 2018 when the forest was conserved.
Mhm.
I think that's a true statement.
Yeah.
So I think we can accept that. Yeah, there's a replacement with it in the forest, I think, which is good. I guess there was a citation that was removed. This management plan draws on the large bank of research. There's a suggestion to add of which was not available when the ACF's first management plan was published. Mm-hmm. That's good.
What's the third footnote? Is there a footnote number 3?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, it's
at the bottom. Maybe is it only on the word? Maybe
I see it. It's this big one. So it says, yeah, there's a footnote, and then
that's not really a footnote. That's more like a paragraph.
Yeah, it's a paragraph that then says see reference list at the end of this section. So I'm not sure what that's about at the end of this section. So if we go like all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, so I think the reference manager. This appendix.
I'm not sure which one that would be. There are references,
It could be
but it is a little vague. It's just like a bunch of text that then says just look at the references at the end, but it doesn't say which reference to look at.
on page 15.
Sure, but page 15 doesn't say where on page 15 to look.
Paragraph called references.
Well, yeah, but which of those references should you be looking at?
Well, it's saying there's a bunch of new knowledge, see references for all that knowledge.
Oh, so you're saying that paragraph is basically stating that that's a collection of thoughts from all of the references in the references section? Like maybe it would help for us to read it. In 2018, our knowledge of the ACF's ecology was limited to expert but relatively brief ecological surveys conducted by Vermont Land Trust, Audubon, Vermont, and a 5-town inventory called Science to Action. Since then, the ACF's ecological resources have been further documented, detailed, and studied by the UVM Field Naturalist Program, Arrowwood Environmental, and several botanists, wildlife biologists, and naturalists. Vermont Conservation Design, the state framework for building biodiversity across Vermont, gives ACF multiple priority and high priority designations for its conservation values, including interior areas, natural communities, wildlife habitats, and connectivity features. See reference list at the end of this section.
So yeah,
That does seem like a mouthful, and maybe it should just not be a footnote, and instead that should just be a paragraph, like somewhere in like up above.
and the references don't have those. So I think that was like we'll put those in later.
Okay.
So like note to self, I think we need to back that up.
So
I mean,
But
you could put that in as a paragraph up above.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's
Right.
not really a reference, would be like if you were referring to an article or.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. I think that's the right way to do it.
And
Does
then-
anyone have any?
And then
Issues
kill
with
the thing that says see reference.
Yeah, so we'll remove the C references at the end of the section.
Yeah.
We'll take the rest of that text and we'll just move it up into the paragraph section that
Yeah.
was referenced under 3. And then we'll get rid of like the number 3 footnote. I don't know how to get rid of it. So we'll deal with that in a second. Where was that 3?
This your task for the copy of it.
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, we've got footnotes.
Yeah.
That link to references, and then we've got a reference list. And probably should be one or the other, or somehow coordinated.
Okay, so yeah, I'm getting rid of the 3 reference, and then it got rid of it. Oh great. It got rid of the footnote. So do we want to just add it right after?
Yeah, right with that number. Yeah, right after the word conserve. Oh, wait a
Consider.
minute.
I was just adding it right under the paragraph we were in. So right now we have through this process today we know much more about. Maybe we need to combine these 2 paragraphs. So right now we have through this process today we know much more about the ACF and residents' desires than we did in 2018 when the forest was conserved. This management plan draws on the large bank of research, much of which was not available when the ACF's first management plan was published, describing how to avoid the conflicts and negative impacts that even seemingly benign human activities can bring to the forest and its users and inhabitants. And then after that, it feels a little redundant to then say in 2018, our knowledge of
Right.
the ACF's ecology. So I think we need to combine these 2.
And then just go to this plan draws upon large research.
Okay.
So kill the first sentence of the paragraph.
Okay.
And stick the footnote in there without take a look at the reference sentence. And then let that go straight into this plan draws.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's try that and see how it looks or how it reads. So now, yeah, we have. Well, if we kill that first sentence, now we're talking about 2018 with the assumption that people know what the significance of that year. Before it said, through this process today, we know much more about the ACF and residents' desires than we did in 2018 when the forest when the forest was conserved.
Right.
And now I think we should say in 2018 when the forest was conserved, our knowledge of the ACF's ecology was limited to expert and blah blah blah. We go through, we mention all the different things that we knew about it.
We dropped out knowing more about people's feelings, though.
Oh yeah, good point. So maybe we don't kill that first sentence and instead we just insert this like right in between. So through this process, we can change like in 2018 to like originally. So through this process today, we know much more about the ACF and residents' desires than we did in 2018 when the forest was first conserved. Originally, our knowledge of the ACF's ecology was limited to expert but relatively brief, and then it goes on. And then to round it out, we finish by saying we talk about Vermont conservation design, designations for its conservation values, including interior areas, natural communities, wildlife habitats, and connectivity features. This management plan draws upon the large bank of research, much of which was not available when ACF's first management plan was published, describing how to avoid the conflicts and negative impacts.
That is true, but it's the way it's written right now. It's going to be this management plan might be confused with conservation design.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe our current management plan, or somehow we have to transition from talking about conservation design to talking about what we're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Our current management plan draws upon
Yeah, or
today.
or like the ACF management plan.
Yep.
Is that okay?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Is everyone cool with that adjustment?
When in the very first sentence,
Mm-hmm.
The phrase when the forest was conserved,
Mm-hmm.
you read it was first conserved,
Oh,
but it's just conserved.
it is just conserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then we've got some formatting stuff. I'm just going to accept. Okay, next paragraph. Yeah, it's not controversial. Sorry, I'm just going through and accepting all these spacing things. Spacing, font, spacing, spacing. Are there any comments on the section that talks about a comprehensive view and the landscape level elements?
Actually, just above that, I don't know if I've changed it, but it says that there's a paragraph just about that heading. It says, for example, the plan designates.
Oh, yep.
So that would be another management plan.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Ian. Updated.
There's another one coming up, second paragraph in the comprehensive view.
Okay. Let's see, let me find it. Oh yeah, this. is plan. Any other suggestions to the comprehensive view section?
There's a sentence beginning with because of the integrity under contiguous forest. That sentence is a hot mess. But I don't.
But you have
I'll just take it on. I'll just take it on later.
Okay. Okay. That's yeah. I'm happy to change it now, but if you think it's better to just deal with that later, that's fine. But there were some changes just to the way that we cited some of this stuff.
Sites or the style. Something. We'll need to be consistent on that.
Yeah.
On the sites.
Oh, the citations.
Citations. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sloppy on that. Management plan style guide. Get that through the committee. Said like a couple of hearings.
Okay, so anything else in the contiguous forest section? No. I don't know if this is supposed to be its own paragraph or if it's.
Yeah.
I feel like either is fine, probably.
Well, it's got the also, that could be a separate paragraph.
The contiguous.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
got it. All right. Any comments for habitat connectivity section?
Just above that, though, you spotted it.
Yeah, the contiguous, the paragraph contiguous interior forests like the ACS. I have a comment there.
Okay.
It's just a clarifying text thing. It says, the second sentence says, they give wildlife new places to thrive in should previous territory become untenable. That's just an awkward sentence, so I think it reads better as they give wildlife new places where they can thrive should previous territory become untenable.
Okay. One more time. They give wildlife
new places.
New places.
Delete to
Okay.
insert where they can.
Okay. Can thrive.
And after thrive, just delete the word in.
Oh, so then like comma can thrive or
comma.
should previous territory become untenable? Okay, great. Excellent. Any other comments in that section? Okay, habitat connectivity.
Second paragraph, penultimate word, creeping northward. I mean, this is just a little thing. I'd say advancing northward instead of creeping.
Okay. At the very
end.
Very end.
Oh.
Creepy. Creepy on cat's feet.
Okay, so back to. Okay, so next we have bedrock and superficial geology. What is the style? I'm not sure why it's.
That's actually a legend from this newspaper. But italics.
That makes sense.
That's what the italics are for? Oh, so does that go below?
Oh, you're saying it went on. Is that right?
I see, yeah, bedrock and superficial geology, just like hanging out. And I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's just like the tab. And maybe this
That's
out.
the legend for the,
Yeah.
for the picture with purple and blue.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I'll try to add that back in a second. I'm just going to delete it for the moment, and then I'll add it back by that figure. Oh my goodness, what the heck? That's better. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it appears on its way.
Yeah, some of the figures got moved around a little bit.
Yeah, moved half a page down. The actual figure on the legend state, but
Okay, so because there's also a caption for that figure, soil suitability for trail construction in the ACF with blue areas showing the best areas.
yeah.
So,
There's two, there's a caption and a legend.
so
Well,
should that,
it's the same thing.
yeah, so should we also say bedrock and superficial geology? Or does it need, can we just remove that text altogether?
Was that, yeah, let's see. No, I think that's like a subsection, because you see elevation is coming up in italics, climate. So it's meant to be,
Oh, so it was supposed to be there.
it's one of the enduring elements.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess we add it back. So where was that? That was here.
This is third paragraph.
Third or second? Oh,
Oh, I see. No,
Was that-
it would be the second, I guess. Because I've got, for example, kicking in as well, let's see.
that's a weird way to start a new paragraph.
It is. No,
For example,
right, so it should be attached to
to the first one.
the first.
So enduring elements, one paragraph, and then then we have bedrock and superficial
Yeah.
geology,
Yeah.
and then the following paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so then if we keep going, I guess I'm just going to keep accepting changes. I don't know if everyone's tracking like the.
I see.
Okay, what's up?
First paragraph under enduring elements. Very last phrase there should be bobcats. Should be plural.
Oh, from Bobcats to bats.
Wait, who's active right now? That's the coyotes.
Oh yeah, you hear them a bunch.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't hear. I mean, I'm less than a mile from your house, and I don't hear.
Early after dark, like maybe 11, 12 o'clock.
Okay. So any other comments up to elevation? I'll take that as a no. Yeah, whenever. Oops. What do you got? Ian?
Legend to the figure that is called tight contours ranging from yellow to red. I don't see contours in I see shaded area, so I change tight contours to terrain slopes color coded according to steepness, ranging from yellow to red.
Okay. One more time. I'll type them out.
To delete. This is what I'm.
Yeah,
supposed to
remove
delete
tight-
tight contours and instead write terrain slopes color coded according to steepness. Range.
So yeah, terrain slopes color coded according to steepness, comma, ranging from yellow. No,
No. I think they would.
terrain slopes color coded according to steepness, ranging from yellow to red.
It comes along complex sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I probably don't know how to use commas very well, but I feel like I would put a few more commas in that sentence. But we'll let Sonia deal with that later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm suggesting terrain slopes. Actually, the legend within the figure says slope, angle, parentheses, descent, slope.
So steepness though. I mean, that plays on steepness, so.
Yeah, I'm just thinking consistency between the figure legend, the color coding legend, P on the left of the figure.
Yeah, but then it's, then it's
slope,
redundant.
angle. Sorry.
Well, then it's, but
So for consistency, instead of where I said terrain slopes, maybe it should read slope angle color coding according to steepness, and it's consistent.
well, and it's also redundant. Where steepness is sort of an interpretive thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's what people think of. Wow, that's a steep. Say, wow, that's a slope angle.
So
Angle. Yeah, it's a steep.
So
I think it's fine. I think it's fine as is. I think we can leave it. I like terrain slope because that reads better than like slope angle.
yeah.
And like if you read the text by the image, then you'll clearly understand what slope angle in the image.
I mean, the figure introduces a confusion that I've seen. Because it says slope angle, so you're thinking, oh, that must be degrees, and then it says percent slope. There's two different ways of measuring slope. One is as a rise
over run. Yeah.
And the other is an angle in degrees, and they're different things. But the key, the color code key actually introduces the confusion by using both terms. We can't change it.
No.
But that's the reason maybe to call it now text, call it terrain slopes.
Got it. Okay. Okay. I feel like I always get so annoyed by like these figures are helpful, but trying to figure out where to put them so they don't like mess up the flow. Because I really hate climate starting on the right side. I feel like that's not easy to read. So I feel like I'm gonna just move this up slightly, which is a little funky, but I think it's better to start
The
with.
space is fine.
They could all change.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole graphic side of this.
yeah, true.
It's all
Which I
separate.
guess, which is basically what I agreed to do before it goes to sign. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna have fun with this stuff. Yeah, I do. I think I'll just add a little space here. Okay, so we're on to climate. We have a suggestion, though it appears to be instead to replace that with, though today our climate appears to be in a period of unprecedented rapid change.
sounds good.
What do we have here? Community level elements. Does anyone have anything on the climate paragraph? No. Community level elements. Okay, so we're just adding seeps to wetland. And we go with that. Today, 97 types of natural species have been found across Vermont.
Well,
The ACF has at least 10, ranging from small patches of wetland, add seeps.
Seems.
Yeah, I mean, not all of the wetlands in ACF are seeped, but we want to, but a small patch would be a seep, I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Um, more spacing. Yeah. I guess this is another thing. This is all one paragraph, right? Conserving conserving the ACF's natural communities. That should just be part of the former paragraph, I believe, right? Or is that supposed to be its own paragraph? The last sentence before uplands natural communities.
Say it's different.
Its own. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, and then once again, we've kind of changed this into bullets. So there's a couple changes here just to make that consistent. With the bullet style. Does anyone have any comments on the upland natural communities and the following bullets?
Yeah, this is important. The third bullet, several patches of hemlock, northern forest, northern hemlock forest. And it says dozens of other species, which sort of implies we counted them. So I just changed dozens to many.
Well, we did,
That's okay.
John Cart says it's, I think, 47.
Oh, well, then that's dozens.
Yes, I would say more than
That's
40.
44. Okay, so ignore my comment.
Yeah.
It has been qualified.
Either dozens or more than 40.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, but I withdraw.
Okay.
Am I the only one that doesn't know what a corvid is?
A corvid. A corvid is it's like a crow, like it's the crow family. So like crows, ravens,
Blue
blue jays. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Ungulates. That's the one that Jim was giving you and I a hard time about. He's like, "What is that?" Okay, so I guess we got more spacing stuff. Are there any comments for the wetland natural community section?
Yeah. It's really a question.
Okay.
The first bullet that says the ACF seeps are small wet areas. And it says the year-round flow of groundwater. I don't know if that's true. The seeps really, they flow year-round.
According to this,
Okay.
it is. But you made me spot that. I think that's kind of a non sequitur, that sentence, not. Their year-round flow makes them one of the first areas in spring. It's not their year-round flow, it's, so I would suggest replacing the rest of that with this, okay? So it's starting at their year-round flow, get rid of the rest of that words. And I just emailed it to you. So,
Okay.
try to keep up. They are among the first areas in spring to thaw and grow vegetation, making them important food sources for black bears. I added American woodcock and other wildlife after winter's privations. Certain amphibians thrive in woodland seeps, including northern dusky, northern two-lined, and spring salamanders. They are also important for providing a cold, clean source of water for downslope wildlife and streams, even in the driest summer months. So that kind of takes you through away from the seasons.
Downslope wildlife meaning just wildlife.
It's critters
just
that are
living.
down, picking up the water as it
Okay.
flows
Got it.
down. You could say wildlife and downslope streams, actually, because it could be the wildlife at the seep itself, I suppose, right?
So I don't know if people are following along on this live editing doc. I like that change. I'm just going to look at it side by side real quick.
Yeah, I'm not following.
Yeah, it's good. Any comments on making that replacement? Okay, cool.
You move downslope streams.
I did not. So water for downslopes.
Water for wildlife and downslope streams.
Okay, water for
Well,
oops. Water for wildlife and downslope streams. Even in the dry summer months. Okay. Did I get rid of a bullet on accident? Did we have just two before?
just two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it should still say three seeps have been mapped to date?
Yeah.
As part of the first bullet?
Yeah.
Okay. So that bullet ends with their size and tree cover make them difficult to find using aerial and satellite photography, and direct field observation remains the best way to locate and assess them.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, 6 corners at least. Okay, onto streams and riparian areas.
I'd like to jump back to the
Oh, sure.
paragraph that doesn't have a bullet, surrounding upland landscape.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's just it says habitat for the pools. But there's a new paragraph, it's not clear that that's referring to vernal pools, so I just on that second line replace pools with vernal pools.
Okay. Done.
The stylistic thing, Sonia, is that I haven't been consistent on capitalizing these specific natural communities like vernal pools above is capitalized. And that's the style I used, and this is sort of the Bible for that. So that's just something we ought to capitalize. We name a natural.
Right.
And birds, I don't know what
I don't either.
I don't know what the style is.
As long as it's a specific group that we're identifying, it should be capitalized,
Yeah, that makes sense.
rather than as a, talking about all birds.
Yeah. So blue jays would be capitalized.
As long as we're talking about them as a specific identified identity
Okay,
in the appendix.
gotcha.
I did not know they were related to crows. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
You did that, yeah. And they're not blue. It's a kind of an optical illusion. There's some kind of pattern going on in the feathers that make them look blue. But if you say you ground them up and soak them in water or alcohol, it's not going to be blue.
Wow.
You know, it's the refraction of the surface that makes it look blue. It's not like the color absorbing light in a certain way.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Learn so much.
Richard, from that guy, who's that UVM guy who lives out towards Heinsberg? I don't think he's very famous. He wrote all the books about ravens.
Huh.
Great. It's a marathon.
In that paragraph, one without bullet,
Mm-hmm.
3 lines up, saying where harvesting aimed at enhancing amphibian habitat is allowed. presumably that's lumber harvesting.
Yeah, it's
Not harvesting
Yeah.
amphibian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is that a good way to deal with it?
I would say timber,
Timber is great.
timber harvesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta cull the amphibians to enhance their habitat. Yes, that's a good
We
clarification.
got into trouble with the Conservation Commission if we were harvesting.
Yeah, I know, right? But
We'll
don't
have
tell
to
Jeanette.
cross the road.
Exactly. Okay. So moving on to streams and riparian areas.
Yeah, there's another caption too.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna kind of avoid it for now.
Right.
Like the image is coming off the edge of the document, but
Yeah.
we're just looking at text right now. So let's just forget about any weirdness about map. Spacing stuff. Space. Okay, so the first one I have here is like at the bottom. Oh, the bottom of this section after the 3 bullets. Due to their importance to many types of wildlife, this management plan recognizes the vulnerability of riparian areas and their broad, far-ranging ecological functions. Do we need broad and far-ranging? Seems a little redundant.
I hate to raise a point of order. I think we've lost Dan.
I see Dan.
Oh, Dan's still there.
He's on the side.
Dan, I didn't see
I'm
you on
here.
my screen. Okay. There it is.
Thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good
We're
point.
just gonna finish this.
Maybe.
I will note that like
We're less than halfway.
the number of pages goes
Thin out.
like the scroll bar is much longer, like because of all these comments, they just keep going and going and going past the edge of the document. But by page count, you're right. Like we're probably not gonna finish, but I mean we're making okay progress.
They
So
thin out the deeper you go. We could make it.
Yeah, we've timekeeping. We've got maybe 15
15
minutes
minutes.
still on this topic.
Okay.
Well, 20 minutes left, I believe. I mean, yeah, 20.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna accept this.
Well,
Instruction.
I think maybe you skipped over something. Under streams and riparian areas, well, we're still on that, but the paragraph. I'm saying there are several streams arise on and through the property.
Mhm.
Continuing that paragraph, the ACF has 3 perennial streams, which is probably true. But then including the central one dropping 500 feet from the saddle of an elder bank. That's the central ravine stream on the map. The Arrowwood data from that shape photo, it looks like it's intermittent. But actually most of it's descent from the saddle, and then it becomes perennial in the last maybe third of that distance. Is what I'm seeing on the map. So the ACF has 3 perennial streams, but that doesn't include the central one according to my reading of the map.
Okay.
So what if it said including 1?
Yeah, I mean that follows from streams may flow perennially or intermittently. The ACF has 3 perennial streams, period. Among the intermittent stream is the central one.
No, it's a mix. No. No, you could say it's 3 perennial streams, including 1. Within the forest major wildlife movement corridor. And just not, leave the 500 feet in the saddle and all that. someone, they can look at a map. And see. So I would jump from including one, get rid of the central, right? And then
Okay,
just including one identified by arrow as within the forest major wildlife movement corridor.
I'm sorry, as including one identified by Arrowwood as
One identified by arrow within, not now.
okay
no, within the forest's major wildlife movement corridor. Singular.
within the forest's major wildlife movement corridor.
Yeah.
Singular.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the ACF has 3 perennial streams, including one identified by Arrowwood within the forest major wildlife movement corridor. Better?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, raise the question, the problem. That's not
Yeah,
the
no,
solution
it's,
to it.
no, you're right, though. It's not entirely. It's just sort of.
Other comments for that section?
Well, yeah, right now it throws a paragraph after movement corridors, and then the next paragraph begins streams, feature channels with defined beds. I think there should be a new subheading where that paragraph starts.
Where
Yeah,
it's streams.
right there. I thought it was riparian areas would be an appropriate subheading, but it actually starts by talking. Should be maybe the subheading could be stream channels and riparian areas.
Don't we have?
Streams and riparian areas is the title of the entire section. So we're kind of just repeating that same
okay.
thing.
That's only a couple paragraphs.
Okay.
Right before that figure.
Yeah. Okay. So minor point, just kind of separate streams from stream channels and riparian areas. Yeah, not essential.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So any other?
Sorry, also
I'll go. Any other comments on that section? No. Okay. So I'm gonna move down to, I guess, beyond this
chart.
the big chart.
What is the difference between these pictures? We have a quiz.
What the chart pictures?
The ferns.
Oh,
Do you
gotcha.
have double fern? Oh,
Yeah, there are.
Oh,
double
on mine
ferns.
it showed it though.
I see two
Oh,
as
okay.
well. I don't know why why I thought they got deleted and
Yeah.
re-added. In some cases, like with the chart, I did delete it and re-add it because the old chart
You
was
fixed it
was
up.
really, really blurry.
Yeah, you fixed it up.
I found a better version. It was driving me crazy every time I saw the that it was like so blurry you couldn't even read any of the things in the chart.
We're rolling.
It's like I know where this came from.
We've got two copies of the figure, but
Yeah.
it has a legend. Oh, but further on in the text it says Broad Beach flag with the emphases left, which
They want it later.
Have to move it.
assumes the formatting is going to stay constant.
No, yeah, we're gonna.
So it's sort of been trying to add a capture or legend, whatever it's called, for the broad fern picture. And just I'd say broad fern
Broad Beach.
beach.
Okay.
And then the text and have that parentheses left. And they did.
They're probably going to need it.
It may work out. I'm just finding it, so changing the format.
So I should just look up left. Oh yeah. I don't know. Right now it's to the left.
It looks good now, doesn't it?
Okay.
That format is.
Oh, okay.
I think it's all right. Any updates to the text for rare, threatened, and endangered species? All right, wildlife wintering areas. Mass stands. Okay. Just keep moving. Click through all these. Formatting changes. Oh, turkey. Oh yeah, I don't know why that turkey got removed, but then I feel like I thought I added it back.
I see a turkey.
Well, there's no turkey now. I had to add it back manually for the accepted changes version for some reason. I'm not sure why. Um,
Does anybody know the name of the newer beach leaf disease?
I think that's the name, beach bark or beach leaf disease, maybe. I'll check one.
Okay.
It's something like that.
or is it like
It's very generic,
it's a beach leaf
but it
blight,
must be a
beach leaf blight or something.
particular.
That's descriptive.
It might be a blight. I know. Yeah, I think the other one is beach leaf or beach bark complex because it's multiple. It's more than one thing. It's like the scale goes through, and then like I think it's like a bacteria, like a fungus or something, gets through the bark. So like the insect goes through the bark, and then that opens. Then they're susceptible to disease afterwards. Whereas the blight, I believe, is just it's just its own thing. That's
If fatal beach bark disease is the name of the original disease, we should identify what the newer beach leaf disease
Yeah,
is
mm,
with an after comma.
These BLD, they call it beach root disease.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. Well, we'll capitalize it then.
Caused by a microscopic nematode. Living lynchus connecte mechanical.
I'll
Yeah.
try a microscopic nematode if we have room.
And they lowercase it too.
Yeah. Okay, all right, that's minor.
all right. I took these back. I don't know why some of these like the text is part of the image, and for others like might have to fix that later. Yeah, I'll just have to clip it and it'll be fine. We'll fixing that later. Okay, so early successional forest and shrubland. Did I skip over anything? I might have skipped over outcrops and ledges. We're at the turkey. Or unless anyone has anything on outcrops and ledges.
Oh.
Okay, we're at the turkey then. All right, wildlife connectivity corridors. New perspectives. Oh, absent social media here. Advances in recreation. Oh yeah, there were some changes, but if you look at the accepted changes version, oh, I guess maybe. Okay, yeah, we should pause on this one. I think maybe I had rewritten this.
I think so. I think
So the advances in recreation section. It was, yeah, it was. This bullet was just very like, it felt very anti-recreation. You know, like the way it was written. New equipment and technologies enable more people than ever to penetrate farther, faster, and deeper into forests more often and with less effort. Absent social media, you know, so it goes on. But to me, that just feels like it's very like out to get people who use technology for recreation and didn't feel very fair in the section that's supposed to be a bridge. So I just rewrote it to make it a little bit softer, but try to you know kind of keep the spirit of what it was trying to say. But I'm certainly open to suggestion if we don't like this rewritten text.
Written text works for me.
I think. I I think the points come across in a nice way, more,
I like it too.
what's the word? Anyway, yeah, I like it.
Makes it closer.
Yeah, and I was just trying to like go for like impartiality more than anything because I know that like Julian especially had he had some thoughts about this appendix and how he felt like it wasn't fair to like the recreation side of the argument. Naturally, there's a lot more to say about ecology because there's just so much science and stuff that we're trying to unpack here that people might not know about. Whereas there's only so much you can say about recreation in this section, and so. Yeah, I was just trying to
No, you did a great job.
straighten that up. Okay, cool. So moving on, I guess we've got a few suggestions to limited space for trail development.
Just above that,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Ian spotted
During what? In the
extending hundreds of meters, and he was.
Yeah, they're not all hundreds of meters. Some of them are. So I said extending up to hundreds of meters.
Okay, extending up to.
And I would say
That's correct, isn't it? That's true.
yeah, except we've been using feet throughout. So I wonder if we shouldn't stick with your homeland's measuring system.
So embarrassing.
And we could say up to 1,000 feet or more from, and that would cover it. Extending up to 1,000 feet or more.
Okay. Extending up to 1,000 feet or more from the trails themselves.
Yeah.
Up to
It's just
1,000
So
or more.
just pursuing the official units of this committee. So for instance, when we identify, well, I think we've identified buffers by feet.
yeah.
I know on the map, I think on the map that I've been working on, we're trying to keep the units as feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a scale bar that's currently in meters, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
When we get to the issue of those.
So then limited space for sustainable trail development. There are a couple of minor changes here. So instead of even buffers of a modest 100 meters around sensitive areas would block trail development. Instead, even buffering sensitive areas by the 330 feet recommended by a broad Vermont meta study.
Yeah.
I think that's better, especially because we're changing it to feet, as we were just talking about. Change, throughout to much of. And then, there's some red text from Ian, show a map.
Now, I don't think the map we've been bouncing around and John Haddon has worked on, I don't think it appears anywhere in the draft management plan. So, and this seems to be where it belongs.
Yeah, so that map we had talked about putting it in the recreation section, but then I don't know, should we duplicate it and put it in here?
Well, it wouldn't be duplicated. What you would do here is you put the 330 feet around everything.
Oh,
And we have a mix now. So
gotcha.
it would be a kind of a dummy map, in a way.
Oh, so we should add, so maybe we should I don't know.
If we have to show that.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? It was your comment about showing the map.
So, just unclear, that was like a placeholder in the recreation section for that map. It's currently as a placeholder.
That isn't the map.
Yeah, that was a sensitive area map, and this is basically referring to a map that would have everything buffered by 330 feet.
Every.
Oh, okay. So there's two different maps.
Yeah.
So either we should remove either we shouldn't show a map, or we need to generate a new map that basically buffers all of these things by 330 feet.
Well, that would be confusing because that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we should.
And we don't have that map.
Yeah.
Another great point.
Yeah.
So is it okay if we remove that comment, Ian? to show a map?
Sure, as long as we,
Maybe the whole section, maybe we don't need to say the actual feet, just talk about buffering sensitive areas.
Say that again, Dan.
Do we need to specify the 330 feet here since we talk about it in detail in other areas?
Mm-hmm.
We just talk about
Yeah.
buffering in more general terms. Maybe it makes sense.
Well, when we do talk about buffer zone, we do say, this is.
You know, I
basic-
think it does make
based
sense.
on
This is
that.
where we're explaining our thinking process.
Yeah, and some of the compromises that we've made.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we can. I don't know. I'm okay with us just. I don't think we need like references to the map, but I don't know what do other people think.
as long as we get the map in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will have the one in the rec
Yeah.
section.
I think trying to insert maps here would be really confusing.
I think so.
Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah.
So we have a few more comments. It is. I will also note it's 7:58, so I'm fine to keep going, but I know folks have things they might want to do, and we're only supposed to meet till 8, so we can wrap it up.
Half a dozen.
Yeah, we're on page.
There's two are management plans. Another is the tents, should it be will or are. Another will. They're really grammatical. And then one is just your question. I'm looking at Ian's comments
Oh, gotcha.
and not what's in the tents. Yeah, there is some work and stuff.
I mean, we're on at the end of page 12 of 17. So based on the pace that we're going at, my guess is if we were going to try to finish this, it would take us another. I mean, I guess there are a few pages that I don't know if we.
I think we're going to end up killing everything past 15.
Yeah, so then that means we got like 2 or 3 pages of potentially quick edits. I'm fine to say I just don't want to pressure anyone because we've agreed to do 2-hour meetings, and I want to be respectful of everybody's
We
time.
have to, if anybody leaves, we'll lose our quorum. Let's push. Let's go.
That's
I feel like only if we have unanimity. I don't want to force anyone. Like the meeting was warned for 2 hours. No, like I don't want to. And essentially, because we have exactly a quorum here, this is a majority. We would need unanimity to like proceed here. So like, if any one person does not want to keep going, we can stop because that's what it was like. What we agreed to and what was warned. So I just want to be clear that we're not pressuring anybody into.
You didn't start the meeting until about 10 after, so let's say we've got another 10, we've got the 10
Okay.
minutes at the end.
Let's see how far we get in 10.
Okay.
All right.
So
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we'll do 10 minutes and then we'll call it. Okay, so Indigenous land acknowledgement.
I don't think it was ever put to the select board. I think it's like draft content in our draft management plan at this point. But,
It's a good
that's
point.
based on what I know, what I would observe. I suppose Cecilia could confirm that. Should one of us contact Cecilia?
Yeah,
or
I
ask
think
that question?
see where it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if we have pledged it. But
Oh, yeah, just remove that.
Yeah.
Word. Well, it'd be nice to know. If
It would, but
it's official or not.
I know, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either because I feel like for it to be a pledge, it would need to either have been like a ballot item like we just had with the pledge that got kicked down the road, or the select board would have had to make that pledge on behalf of the town in a select board meeting. And so I don't know if that actually happened.
So we would, it's looking like we should change that text as to say that this the ACFC is proposing
Yeah.
or proposes.
You mean in the absence of more information, how to word it.
Mm,
Let's get them more information and then
Okay.
determine how to word
see
it.
if
Yeah.
maybe Cecilia. Write that for us. True.
So we want to just leave this for now and come back to it.
Yeah, you could take out the purple though.
Okay.
Because I think we talked about it's an idea I had. And I think we talked about it, said, man, let's not do that. So you can skip that, and just leave it to, you know, obvious where.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna bold pledge too. Okay. So assessment of needs.
You want to add the issue with private lands
Oh,
and not in perpetuity.
yeah. I don't know. It was just kind of a comment. Like I wasn't.
Oh,
I get. It's worth noting. So like, yeah, that I don't know, like if like for example, David Sunshine ended up selling his land or not. I think it was for sale, and like that's where Sip of Sunshine trails are, and that's one of the things that people like mountain bikers were really pushing for was a connection to Sip, and then now David's selling his land. Then like we've been told, oh yeah, like it'll be fine, and focus on this committee. We're like, well, we should get that in writing if it's going to be something that's guaranteed, and then now. Is the land going to change hands? Is that trail still going to exist? I don't know. Somebody could buy it and say, I don't want any,
there is a conservation easement on
On the
Sunshine Land, or at least the upper section, which is
Just public. Oh, for David's. Yeah,
Davidson.
but it just says he has to let the public know. He doesn't have to,
Okay, so
he doesn't,
it's not like
doesn't have to be like mountain
our,
bike access.
easement says, there will be trails, there will be recreation.
Yeah,
But
it
David's doesn't say that.
well, it says, no, I think it just says you gotta let the public on, but then set the rules for what the public can do.
Mhm. So then
Anyway,
the point being, if private land, even if it has a conservation easement, depending on what easement is, like changes hands, then there may not be public access. So I was just kind of pointing that out. I don't know if we necessarily need to build it in. I feel like our biggest advocates for adding that text would be Jim and Julia, and neither of them are here. So don't know whether or not we care to add it. It was more of just like just a note. So I guess we can just delete it. I don't really care. It was my comment, so unless anyone really wants to add it, I might just remove it.
Fine.
There's some green text coming up.
Yeah.
shortly That begins, the plan is capitalized, so I
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
think in the past we've tried to make it management, capital M management, capital P plan.
Oh yeah, the management plan. Gotcha. Treatment balance.
Oh, yeah, but it's red text.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Voice for our welcome recognition. Space.
And then again,
Okay, so yeah, there is the green text is new. So I will add management, but we also, because this text is green, that means it was something that Brad or I added. So we need to we should look at that and make sure that people are okay with that text.
I think you did that one too, but I like it.
Okay, no complaints then. Okay, and then after that we have the plan again. So management plan, capital. Spacing. Trails are constructed and monitored to minimize erosion. I think that's fine, right?
Yeah, Ian had a,
yeah, I wasn't sure if that should be. Trials will be constructed, or are they already constructed?
yeah. But we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
using present tense up to that point.
I see.
I would stick
Yeah.
with it. I think it's stronger. One of these days, girls will be constructed.
Some point.
Okay, so then we have another thing that I think I wrote, or like a suggestion, which was and remove the by concentrating higher impact recreation in this zone, the forest plan balances public access and join in with the protection of sensitive habitats in the adjacent northern forest preserve. With this zone fulfills the easement's directive to provide meaningful recreation opportunities by offering trails for diverse users and abilities, welcoming forest experiences while concentrating higher impact activities away from the most sensitive ecological areas. I feel like that's just a little bit easier to read, and it's I don't know, just a little bit less intense.
Well,
Like-
the other introduces this Northern Forest Preserve.
Which isn't exactly, yeah,
What's that?
exactly, yeah.
Where'd that come from? Yeah,
So we cool with this update.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then, oh, well, then here we have the Northern Forest Preserve. That is like,
Oh, it's
Do we want to call it that, or is it, we're not
yeah,
really doing, we're not doing a preserve, it's more of a conservation area.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
we could
the
just call it
word-
North. Go ahead,
the-
Dan.
The word preserve is controversial.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe. What
Nor-
about, well, we have a southern recreation area. Should we have a? Or two ideas. We could call it northern.
You could just go
conservation
southern area, and
The whole thing. What if we said,
could be the northern
Call them both.
conservation area.
call them both conservation, but there's one is a southern conservation area, because it is conservation. And a northern conservation.
Could just be southern and northern.
Yeah, why not just southern area and northern area?
Southern zone, southern. Southern forest, northern forest.
You're calling them management zones up above, so
Yeah, yeah.
the southern.
The southern zone and northern zone?
Yeah,
and or unless we want to be, have continuity with the, previous mentions and have it be southern.
Southern management area and northern.
Okay.
That's clean.
I like it, but yeah, it's a little less like
Yeah.
divisive, like just
Uh,
like,
Good.
okay, so southern management area and northern management area.
That's what's weird.
and then take out
Yeah.
forest preserve in the first sentence there of that second bullet.
Oh yeah, just how about the northern? Or we could just say like manage to prioritize conservation this area, right?
Yeah.
This zone, this
Zone better than area.
this zone. So we want to say southern management area or zone and northern management zone.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah, I know.
Cool. Changing that. Zone. The zone maintains its tradition.
Both of those two paragraphs talk about trails and footpaths. And both are in the present tense. It says in the middle of the southern zone, it's trails are constructed and monitored. And then 3 lines down in the northern zone, it says this zone includes a limited number, again, present tense. So I'm just thinking, is this documenting present conditions, or is this identifying out? It is a management plan, so management to me implies well managing existing features, but also
Future.
providing for future ones.
I think this is still consistent with what we're trying to do in the northern section, though, right? So I don't think it's inconsistent if we keep it in the present tense. Unless, we have to do a big overhaul based on, committee and or public feedback, which, we might have to come back and change some of this stuff in a month or two, like once it goes out and we get our feedback. I think right now, based on the vision that we sort of have for the South versus the North, this language is fine, but I take your point. I do think that it makes sense to talk about it in the present, because Brad was saying, like, we're talking about everything in the present up to this point. So it is a little bit funny to hop around tenses. It just makes it hard to read.
Then in 5 years from now, you don't want to be saying will you know, like,
Yeah, because then it's out, because then it's outdated.
it's very now.
Or at the same time, well, those two sections, those two bullets are preceded by the management plan establishes two distinct management zones, which is, well, it's written in present tense, but it's kind of looking to the future, and that those zones don't really, aren't really.
Well, it will be, once
existing.
this is approved. I mean, we have to write as if this is approved. Otherwise, you gotta go back and.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe consistent. I'll bow to the desire to have consistent tenses in present tense. So that's a reason for me to drop this.
Yeah, I think that's how these things usually.
Yeah.
I mean, I see your point, but
I don't have any strong opinions here.
Hmm.
I think the consistency makes sense to me. I know that's something I was getting for in English class was changing tenses. So having consistent tense
Yeah.
makes sense. And
I think it's
that,
good.
okay. There's a small adjustment on the northern section to add dogs. I think that makes sense. It's consistent with the rec section. So next up we have what changed here? Not really. What should I need? Step back.
there's
Zones
another,
for measure.
Ian flagged this, there's mention of, in the together paragraph. Mention of aligning town plan policies, and we're cool with that, it's good.
I'm sorry, where was that?
In the paragraph right above special consideration.
Okay, yeah.
Where halfway through it says align with town policies, this helps the town meet goals. This helps the town align with town plan policies, which is, it does, you know, the new plan.
Okay, this, yeah, so what are we suggesting we change that?
No, nothing, it's just a comfort.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sure.
A special consideration.
So on that, I think we're gonna, well, this is what we talked about at the beginning, and look at this at that, you know, down the road, but
Yeah, that's the flexibility.
yeah, this was
That's
kind of
what
written
we're
to
talking
be,
about.
to keep it flexible. Like talk about the issues, but go to the rules, and see what
Okay,
they
yeah.
are today, you know,
Yeah,
so people understand why.
so we're saying leave this.
Yeah, I mean, I would,
Yeah. So I can delete your comment though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we can accept, I guess, some of these minor changes to the text, so the rules reflect wildlife's response to the site in long lingering sense instead of fear. And even the friendliest and most securely leashed dogs. Dog. Which they will fear. Dogs. Which they will fear. Okay, well then we need to change that to as predators if we're doing dogs.
yeah. Only take off the dog and put a friendliness. Back up a little bit, long lingering sense of even.
The friendliest and most securely leashed
Oh,
dogs.
no, that's okay, that's any,
So we want it to be plural. So dogs and predators, right?
dogs and predators.
They will fear as predators. This community to abandon. So hunting. I don't think there are any changes to hunting. And then we've got, due instead of because of due to safety hazards to visitors, pets, and wildlife, trapping is not permitted. Don't think that's
And then snowmobile.
yes. Correct. Motorized recreation is otherwise prohibited. And then we just have some spacing stuff on the references. Oh yeah, I guess we are at the end. So then we have this trail maintenance commitment agreement. Not sure what if it belongs in this appendix for one, and I would think it should be a separate document if we're going to have an agreement like that. And I also don't know, do we need one? I mean,
This came, I think Melissa way back summer was kind of hot on this, and she made really good points too. And I think to accommodate it, I asked AI to draft one. And tweaked it here and there, but I don't know.
I guess my question would be,
We want to,
for other rather than like creating a new document, wouldn't there already be precedent for this kind of thing for other like trails in town? So we have RTC, we have RMT. They both operate on trails in town. We've got the trail along Town Green. We've got the River Shore Trail. We've got trails in town that are on town-owned land, and they are being maintained by someone. Are there?
this is for private.
What's that?
This is aimed at private. So before somebody wants to connect to us.
Oh, this is specifically for connecting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So this is like getting that sort of like guarantee.
Yeah.
I mean, the Beacon River Shore Trail has about 6 landowners and one or two sections belong to the town, but the others, could potentially be subject to this kind of agreement, but I don't think ever were. At some point there was a handshake or something.
Yeah, it's pretty loose.
I think this is a whole nother conversation, and
I think so, Dan.
want this, it doesn't belong in this section.
In this appendix, this would be a whole different, an appendix on its own, maybe.
I agree.
We can bring this
Should
issue.
we just move it to a placeholder for now?
This is a very good point to table this item, and so we can declare victory and go home.
Yes, it can. I agree.
It's 8:19 right now on the clock.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that. So yeah, I'll just, I don't know, I guess leave it as is. Or do we want to, should we just remove it and then approve the section? Like I can just put this in a separate document.
Yeah. And because we're gonna have to sort out all the appendices.
Yeah, so
There'll be others, and maybe this is it, and this would be one we might select board about. I don't know.
okay, well, I'm just putting this into a new document and I'm just calling it trail, like main.
So much more.
It's like
maintenance in the section in the sense of keeping it alive. Gonna go up there,
Or tabling it.
cut through.
yeah, I'm calling it trail maintenance and connectivity agreement.
And connectivity, that's important.
Just so I don't lose track of it. So I'm putting that in a new document. All right. So then now, because we finished the content changes to this to the appendix, can I get a motion from someone to approve this section?
So moved, yes.
So yeah, just to approve this, the combined appendix, also known as the ACF for People and Wildlife. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, great.
Greg, you bet, yeah.
Cool. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, so we've got a majority to approve. Perfect. So yeah, we've completed the combined appendix. Good work, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So that said, we will go to closure, the last item on our agenda. Does anyone have any business for upcoming meetings?
Maybe informational at this point, but Brad, I know made revisions to our webpage at the town website some time ago. I mean, Brad was the leader of that effort. And Brad, enough for information, really, Brad and I have been looking at the website again and looking at seeing some things that could be updated, corrected, added, changed, formatted, reformatted.
Condensed,
So
condensed, even streamlined.
yeah. So we've been looking at it. We've also conferred with Duncan about, the best way to provide recommendations. So, yeah, what I'm saying is that some future meeting, Brad and I would like to present some changes to the webpage.
Excellent. Yeah.
For the committee to approve.
I'm into that idea. I talked to Brad about that last week, and he had just mentioned that it was you probably needed just like a little bit more time to just firm up some of those decisions. But I'm in favor of making those changes. We just want to talk about some of them as a group, I imagine. But I can I'll put that on either for our next agenda or on like a up and coming agenda item.
Ian's got some ideas, good ideas. So,
Okay. Cool. Any other topics for discussion at future meetings that folks want to cover? Otherwise, it sounds like Brad and I are probably gonna need to get together again at some point in the next week, see where we're at, because we just made it through like a couple major sections, eco and then the combined appendix. So I think it's Brad and I's job to go back to the full thing, figure out what the next piece is that the full committee needs to look at. But we are rapidly, I mean, I'm really happy with how quickly we got through that appendix because we've only got a few sections that we need to put our stamp of approval on. And once we have those all together, then we're basically ready to ship that out to RTC, RCC, and the select board. And then you and I can get to work on the reformatting and then the grammar stuff. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Well, if there are no other comments, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, future meetings. Sure. Yeah. March 23rd and April 13th, based on our current cadence.
sure.
So 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks from today, and then 2 weeks from then. So do those both work?
Yep.
Cool. All right, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
You can move, right?
Sure.
I move
And a
to adjourn.
Second? Or I guess, do you normally need a second? I feel like everyone's always so excited to leave that everything says aye. Yeah, all in favor? Aye. All right. Great, everybody. Thanks, everyone, and see you in a couple weeks.